What's up, everybody? It's your boy. I'm back. Been out for a couple days. I know. I'm back. We back. Um, what a crazy close to the week we had on Friday. My God, just Spy is unstoppable right now. The whole market in general, just unstoppable. I mean, it was just kind of a cookie cutter melt up day. Just there was no dips. Just no dips. I mean, I'm of course kicking myself. I bought calls like first thing. I ended up taking profits up here, thinking, hey, that's pretty good. They ran like 100%, of course. Same with the Nasdaq call I had, just ran 100%, just unstoppable, ridiculous. I don't know why I'm fighting, why I can't just be like, yeah, it's just gonna go straight up from here, just buy and hold. I'm having a hard time doing that, but I'm working on it. We're getting there. Yeah, I want to just go over my steps for this upcoming week. I have been researching all day. It's only 2 o'clock, not like I'm spending all day. But gonna do a little research. I'm finding some really nice setups, some super nice. Obviously not like the Apples, but the companies that are still a little beat up and still have a lot of room to the upside. And I'll get to those, but first things first, I'll break down the NASDAQ, and I'm done charting QQQ. I'm just going to start charting the NASDAQ futures, NASDAQ 100 futures chart. I think it's a lot more reliable than QQQ. For whatever reason, QQQ is just weird. And it varies from this chart, even though this is like the true chart. It's kind of like with SPX and SPY, they're slightly different. So I'm going to stick with this, but I mean, really, the Nasdaq is just at a key level. We're right here at this past resistance and also a past sort of support. So this is just a huge key level right here, 136 on the Nasdaq futures. If we break above that, obviously we've already broken out of this downtrend. We got a close above the 200-day EMA. We broke out of the downtrend. We retested the downtrend and we bounced. Just perfect price action. Just retested it, bounced hard bounce, and it just looks super bullish. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. At this point, we're just gonna see if we can keep taking out levels. You can see we tested this level bounce, and now we're retesting it. So if we open way above that level, just the sky's the limit. I mean, the Nasdaq just has so much room to run. This has been a pretty low volume area too, so I imagine we'll just slice through this entire area like hot butter. My price target for the end of the week, if we just keep going super mega bullish, will be up here at 14, or no, up here right about the point of control at 14K on the Nasdaq index. Just not much else to say. I mean, my support right now would be at where we found support over here at the 133 level, and that's really all there is to it. I mean, we can look at the 30-minute chart for the 50 simple moving average. It's right about there. It's probably even closer on the QQQ. Yeah, I mean, just not much else to say. Nasdaq tech is just absolutely ripping. Just there's so many, must be so many bears trapped right now that are probably not even fully squeezed out yet, and it is just a full-blown, not even like a short squeeze, just a ridiculous bull rally that has so much steam, and I'm very curious to see if it can just keep on ripping through this week. The only negative catalyst I think about is the FOMC meeting on, or not meeting, but minutes on Wednesday, where they basically release what they talked about from their last meeting. So that could only be the only negative thing I can think of, but looking at ES or SPX basically, if we get a break above 4,300, that is just hyper, super, insanely bullish. Why do I say that? Because we can take a look back here, and this 4,300 level is the level that we had such a hard time at the end of April. And when we bounce off that level once, twice, three times, basically four times on the daily, try to retest it. When it resisted that, it just dumped. I mean, we just plummeted from there, and SPY really didn't look back. So we haven't retested that level in a very, very long time, well over 2 months. So if we have no problem breaking through that, that is just, I mean, SPX is just gone, and you'll see this little this convergence here where these, or where these two levels meet. We have this trend line, and this is the key trend line. This is it. This is the downtrend line from the top of January to the top of March, and just stretch that baby out. We could just meet that level right over here and break through it. tap off that, break through it. Who knows? I don't know. But that is just a monstrous level. A clean break above that, super bullish. There's just so much room to the upside. It's crazy. I imagine since it is getting a little overbought on the RSI, not saying I'm going to short, I'm just saying it could run up, tap it, bounce. I'm looking to see if it does tap resist. I'm going to watch. I'm watching to see where exactly does it come down. I would love to see if it could bounce off of that and come down back down to 4200. I mean, I would buy that dip up like crazy. And 4200 is just super duper key right now because we have our 50 simple moving average on the 30-minute chart right here at 4200, this red line right there. You could see where it had support in the past, right at that level. The cat's making noise. Oh, he's playing back there. But I would love a bounce off 4300, a retest of 4200. If it bounced off 4200, I'm just gonna I'm getting calls, baby. I mean, that's all there is to it. That would be a gift from the gods if we could get that. Something to note is we do have a gap to fill at 4219 down to basically 4210. So a tiny little gap. But 4200 fails. We have a gap below that at 4177. A big ass gap all the way down to 4126. That's our CPI gap. So gonna watch out for that. But that I don't imagine that's going to happen with the amount of momentum the market has right now and how strong tech is. But that's mainly what you got to watch. If tech begins to falter, watch SPY. Tech has led the rally up. It will lead the market back down if it starts to fail. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on SPY. I'm probably gonna most actively keep trading SPY because I've had some nice success with it recently, especially if it just keeps doing what it's been doing. I mean, it's just stupid. Some traders, me included, we do all this work looking at these levels, all this stuff, and then some days you get days like this, and it just like you don't need to know anything to just know to buy a call at open, and it just goes straight up. Like it was just stupid. Like literally just stupid. The biggest melt up ever. So otherwise, let's go to my A plus setup list for this upcoming week. So these are just the setups that I think still have so much room to run. And of course, we're going to start off with Netflix. So looking at some of these charts, you might think, yeah, I'm late. Of course I'm late. Everyone's late if you're just looking at buying stuff now. But I don't think just because I missed this little bit down here, just because I didn't buy at the very bottom at 160, or I didn't buy over here even at 210, I don't think that means that I'm completely missed out. Obviously, Netflix has all the room in the world to run to the upside. I don't think it's ever going to get back to this price. I don't think it'll probably ever get back to even the 400s. But I don't need that big of a move to make a lot of money on Netflix thanks to options. That's why I trade options, right? So, first things first is you will notice that Netflix is right broken out of this beautiful green line I'm going to draw. That is the downtrend line. We have broken out of it, and I know I'm late. I missed it, but it broke out right here at 220. It came down, retested it, bounced hard, and we're just sailing now. It is overbought on the daily. That's slightly concerning. I'm watching for a pullback, but now we are right back at the gap from earnings from 2 quarters ago. We're right there, and it wicked up into it and resisted, but we've closed above the high of this candle at 248.70. We closed at 249.30, so we've closed in that gap. We have a daily candle close in that gap. Super bullish. Next key level that I'm watching is obviously the top of the wick on this candle where it rejected at 251.62. Break above that, and it just like, I mean, look at this. There is just so little volume in this area, stretching all the way back 5 years. Look at this volume profile. There's just like so little, especially if you just look at the 3-year weekly. I mean, it's wide open. If you look at the yearly, I mean, obviously there's nothing. It just went straight down. But it is just wide open. It's a huge gap. There's so much room to the upside. This market is just, it brutalized these kind of stocks, and there are so many shorts, not a lot of shorts, but there are a lot of shorts in Netflix I'm sure we'll begin to cover if Netflix starts to go fill this gap. But it could be where bears step in and say, no gap fill today. We're stepping in. We're not going to allow that, because we know that happened back over here in Facebook where it tried to start to fill its gap. Wow, and Facebook also has a really nice setup. I might add that to my list, impromptu. But first I'll go through down I'll go down what I actually have listed. But Netflix, I love Netflix to the upside. I'm looking at some like long out, a few months out, maybe even January. It calls on Netflix. I know Netflix options are a little bit expensive, and because their IV is a little elevated at the moment. But let me see. Maybe the December ones. Those aren't too pricey. I probably don't even have to go out. I'll probably just look at 2 months out here in October. Um, I mean, I like these $300 calls here on Netflix. These are 655 bucks. Very low theta. I think Netflix is just, it's so beaten up. There's so much room to the upside. It's got the confirmed breakout. We got the confirmed uptrend. We have gotten our higher high. We have a higher low. We got a higher high, higher low. We're in the confirmed uptrend. It's clear as day. But when things start to get this high, you can look for pullbacks. I'm looking for a dip. If we get a nice little dip down here, if we go to fill the gap down here, we dip down to 230. I love buying that dip if that were to happen. But I just love Netflix to the upside. I think it just has so much room. Um, Otherwise, to another FANG, Google. Google, finally, we finally got it, boys. We finally almost. No, I would say we have broken out because that's where the next wick is at. We finally appear to have broken out of this channel, this huge consolidation channel that we have been in since all the way back here, halfway through May. And we have consolidated for so long, for 2 months in this channel. And you know what that means. When you consolidate, the longer you consolidate, the bigger the move. We've finally broken out. We've got a confirmed candle close above that line. We are finally broken out above that level at 122. And we're closed at 122.65. Could be a fake out, but another company, and I don't even need to talk about the fundamentals of Google. I mean, it's one of the safest plays out there. It's if you want exposure to marketing, to ads, to internet, to all levels of media, just everything. I think Google is gonna rule the goddamn world one day. It's the best. I mean, what is there to say about Google? It's a money printing machine. They beat earnings. No, they missed earnings. They don't beat earnings. But they're just a juggernaut of a company. They're broken out. I think after it's consolidated this long, it's just going to see a crazy rip to the upside along with the rest of the market. Should we continue to go bullish and actually just go back to a bull market? I think if you can get any discount on Google, that you just take it. You buy now, ask questions later with Google. It is one of the best companies a fella could ask for. One thing I am noticing right this very second, though, is we are almost basically in a rising wedge right now. So that's a little worrisome, but I think if it broke out to the downside, I'd be looking to buy dips. It's another company I like the calls out, far out calls for Google. I would be eyeballing the $130 ones for January 23rd. So you have a very long time. These are about 5 months out. Just super safe. They're only $700 each. I love those to the upside. I think Google is going to completely blow up. And this is a good chance. This is a confirmation. It's in a full-blown uptrend. I mean, it's been an uptrend for a while now. It's gotten a higher high. It's gotten a higher low. Lower high, higher low. What does that mean? Consolidation. Draw your trend line. Oh, we broke out. And then we got a higher high, lower low. But now we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, so on and so forth. We do have our trend line right up here, so we could come up and tap that 125. And then there's also just a big old gap in volume right here too, as you can tell. And this is the very key line to retake is 124.70. But we have the very clear gap in volume right here where it just like sank through this level and just went straight down. So that tells me this gap in volume will be easy to slice through to the upside. And I love the company. It's just one of the safest bets out there right now. If you want exposure to all those things I listed before, they're unbeatable. Can't be beaten. So now for my more riskier play that I love to the upside, and I'm also currently invested in, is Hut. Hut 8. I love Hut 8. this is one of the companies I got roasted on because hey, I bought it way the hell over here, like at $8, thinking how much lower could it possibly go? It's down 50%. Well, it went all the way down to $1. So my average cost basis on this is I only bought a pretty small amount. I have 250 shares at 327 a share. But this is another one that has just it's in a falling wedge right here. You could see the breakout, and you could tell how when it broke out of that, look at the volume. The volume just immediately sent. Huge volume, huge volume. Had terrible earnings. Those have been priced in because Bitcoin, everyone knew the earnings was going to be terrible. This wasn't like a surprise, like, wow, those earnings were worse than people thought. Obviously, your earnings are going to be bad when a company is all about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is down like 70% or whatever the hell. But I love this to the upside. It just has a huge breakout right here, and I think this thing has so much room to go. It is not terribly heavily shorted like Mara, which I like that a little bit more because those heavy shorts, sometimes those shorts aren't willing to just cover. They come back with a vengeance. But I think Hut still has so much room to the upside. It's still such a value. Obviously, it's probably never going to get back. Well, I shouldn't say never. Not within the next couple of years get back to its all-time highs. But if you get in at $3, I love it to at least 450. That's still like a 20% gain. That'll be a very key level over here at 452. Otherwise, it has retaken this key level where it had passed support and that support broke. It retook this key level, this fib right here at 347. We closed at 352. It's broken out of the wedge. It just has the volume is picking up. It's got all the makings in the world to just do some crazy shit to the upside. And I like it. I'm only in very lightly. If it dipped all the way down to $2, I'm buying more of this shit. I'm holding this. I love the stock. Next up, we have good old AMD. AMD, same thing. Just it had its bullish breakout. You can see the volume picks up. Look right where it breaks that line. What happens? Volume picks up. Volume picks up. Big volume. Big volume. Right there with earnings too, which they, by the way, destroyed earnings. Just one of the best companies ever. Really, not ever, but if you want some exposure to semiconductors, it's hard to beat AMD. But I like it because we had our breakout of that trend line. We've gotten our dip, so we've gotten our... And it's been an uptrend for a while now. It entered an uptrend all the way over here where it got a higher high, a higher low, and when we get a higher high, higher low, higher high, oh, a lower low, lower high. So we're in consolidation mode. We might be in a downtrend, but I think if you really zoom out, I think it just is beautiful. I think it's got a great setup. Which actually, no, that's not a lower low. That's a higher low. Yeah, so we're still in an uptrend. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. What is that? 94.27, 93.67. I don't know what the hell I'm seeing here. Whatever. It's still an uptrend. It's got a really nice setup to the upside. It's doing a bit of a bull flag right now. If I were a betting man, which I am, I have a calls on AMD. I would say it's going to break out of this cheeky little bull flag to the upside. Actually, that goes way up here. What am I doing? That goes way over up here. Yeah, if I'm a betting man, I think we're breaking out of that to the upside. It got its dip. We have its confirmation of the uptrend, and another one that has all the room in the world to run. It held the very key level over here. Held the key level of 99.71. Held the breakout. So I like it to 108.27 maybe in this next upcoming week. That would be pretty ambitious. But you could see that is we have sellers waiting up there. So that's a supply zone. It could be a little troublesome when we get up there. But smash to that level in AMD is just, it's getting sent. It's got such a bullish looking chart. It's crazy. So I love AMD to the upside. I'm in calls. Micron is another one I love. So Micron, same thing. We got our falling wedge that we have broken out. It retested. It confirmed. We did get a lower low. Depends who you ask, maybe. But we've gotten a higher high. So it's confirmed the uptrend. We're still in an uptrend on Micron right now. One thing I'm noticing is this little dynamic trend line that it kind of looks like it wants to bounce off of. That could be a resistance. But otherwise, we're kind of just in this like little channel. So I want to see it break, and then we have. I love Micron because we have. I really like Micron because we have a super key, very obvious level that we're sitting right under right now. This level right here, this past support that hey we bounced off of right there. That's where it bounced way back in October. And then what did it do? It took a long time to break this level. It tested it once, it tested it twice, it tested it 3 times. The fourth time it broke. I would love if it broke that level. Of course, you see the weekly 21 EMA, which it has resisted for this entire, basically this entire year. You could see that green line. It resisted it there, just tapped it. And where is that green line at? It's right at that freaking level right now, bro. Can you believe that? It's right there at that level. So I love when those an indicator is just right on top of a level. It kind of confirms that why that's such an important level. But I would love a break above that, and a break above that would just confirm the breakout from this falling wedge, which has already been confirmed by the insane buying that's been going on with Micron. Another name that is still down a lot. It still has like another 50% of the upside. It's a valued. It's got a low PNE. It's very low PNE, but it just does have worries because it's such a consumer-based semiconductor company. But what can I say? The SEP just looks so bullish. It has so much room to the upside. So those are my favorite looking stocks for this upcoming week, the week of August 15th. There's a lot of very bullish looking setups. I'm not looking so much for downside. I need some very clear rejections on SPY and NASDAQ before I'm looking at downside for basically anything. So that's what I'm seeing. I love a lot of these setups. They look great. And these are the ones that I think are still lagging and still have a lot of room to the upside. I'm not going to tell you to go buy something like Apple after it's done this, after it's had 6 green weeks in a row, just going straight up. So that's my only concern is if Apple starts to reverse, that these tech companies are going to have a tough time fighting that. So, anyways, that's what I'm seeing. I love the setups. I'll come back next. No, I won't. I'm gone this next weekend. I'll try to keep tabs on not my predictions, but these levels that I've laid out and see if any of them held true, if there was any meaning behind any of them, see if I have any idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll see. Good luck, folks. I love it.